Hi everyone, Jennifer here, back with another of my top favorite lists. This one is my top 20 favorite characters of Star Wars, and as it is a longer list than the other three I previously did, I will try to cut down the talking of the characters just a little bit. Again, this is my personal opinion, so if any of your favorite characters did not make this list, I apologize for that. So let's get started. Number 20 is Finn. I liked Finn in The Force Awakens. I liked what the backstory, what very little backstory we got on him. I thought was very good. Really made you feel a connection with the character. And I am very excited to see more and learn more about him in The Last Jedi in Episode 9. Number 19 is Hondo Ohnaka. I really liked Hondo in the Clone Wars. I thought he was a very interesting character. He's a great character. We really only see him as a villain in 3 or 4 episodes. And I loved his redesign for Rebels. I thought it was very good. It was just changed just enough so he looked like an older version from his Clone Wars self, but not so drastically that you had trouble recognizing him. Number 18 is Ventress, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you are thinking, why did you put a villain on this list? Well, simple answer is some villains you just love to hate, and Ventress is one of them for me. I liked her backstory that we got in the Dark Sisters arc, or Night Sisters arc, excuse me. I kind of wish after that, the first episode in that arc, that they had gone a different direction with the rest of her role in the arc, but that's just me. I would have liked for her to kind of look at the situation as, okay, Dooku thinks I'm dead, the Jedi think I'm dead, I have a chance to start over here. So that's what I'm going to do. They chose to take it in a different direction. That's okay. Their show, their preference. So that's just how it is. Moving on, number 17 is Lando Calrissian. I really liked Lando in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And he does make an appearance in the Rebels TV show, in Idiot's Array, and I thought they did a wonderful job de-aging him, just like with Hondo, how they aged him up just enough to where he looked like an older version of his Clone Wars self. They did a very good job of de-aging Lando for Rebels to where he looked like his Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi self, but younger. So I thought they did a very good job with that. Really hope to see him in the Last Jedi in Episode 9, and also hoping to see him in the upcoming Han Solo movie. Don't know if we will or will not, but looking forward to it. Number 16 is Ryo Chuchi. She is a young senator from Pandora. She is, as of the posting of this video, exclusively a Clone Wars character, but who knows, we may see her in the upcoming season of Rebels. We may also see her, if she survives to the end of Return of the Jedi, we may see her in The Last Jedi and possibly Episode 9. I don't know. It is extremely possible. She's about 14 or 16 when we meet her, and I peg that as for 2 reasons. Number 1, Padme was 14 years old when she was elected queen, and if it's anything, and so I'm assuming she was somewhat in politics before that. Also, Leia was somewhat in politics in Rebels, where she's 15, 16 years old, so wouldn't be too surprising. Also, she is friends with, Chuchi is friends with Ahsoka in Clone Wars, and Ahsoka is about 14, 16 in Clone Wars, so I'm pegging her to, and they're about the same height and everything, so I'm pegging her to be about the same age, that they're about the same age. They never really actually say how old Chi-Chi is. But, it's not a stretch for her to be that young. She's really only in 2 episodes. I mean, she has a couple of cameos in a couple of other episodes, but she's really only in 2 episodes. And what I liked about it is that when the 2 episodes she is a character in, an active character in, you really see how much she cares about her people. And I also like the fact that she is so young and is in a position where she has so much responsibility, and she doesn't let it get to her. She takes it in strides. I really like that about her. Number 15 is R2-D2. I loved R2-D2 since A New Hope, which is the first Star Wars movie that came out. A lot of people call it Star Wars. I call it New Hope. And I really, he's like my favorite droid. I've really liked him. If you can't see real well, you can see that the necklace I'm wearing is R2, here. I also have another necklace that I consider R2. A lot of you are going to say it's not R2, but, that's it. A lot of you are going to say, oh, well, that is Ayla Secura's droid. Can't remember its number. But that's still an R2 design to me, so I still call it my R2 necklace. And this little Matchbox car I got at work when The Force Awakens was coming out in theaters. I actually saw it and I thought, oh, I got to get that because it's just cute. Really like R2. I loved him in the original trilogy. I loved him in the prequels. Loved him in the Clone Wars TV show. And the couple of episodes we see him in Rebels, I really liked. One of the 2 glaring things I did not like about The Force Awakens is that you don't really see R2 all that much. He's there, but he doesn't become active until like really the end of the movie. So that was one thing. It's like, oh, I don't like about that. I didn't like about that. It's like R2 was a prominent droid in all the other movies and in the Clone Wars TV show, and he's just really sitting in the background. He doesn't move until near the end of the movie. So I really didn't like that. I know they were trying to give the new kid BB a little bit of the attention, but still. I would have preferred if they had C-3PO sitting in the background than R2-D2. But that's just me. I will get to the other thing I didn't like about it later on in this video. So moving on, number 14 is Lux Bonteri. Like Chi-Chi, he is, as of this point, exclusively a Clone Wars character. We may see him in Rebels. I would actually like to see him in the upcoming season of Rebels, if at all possible. And if he survives to the end of the Clone Wars, we may see him, and I would like to see him, if possible, in The Last Jedi in Episode 9, if at all possible. I mean, hey, we had Saw Garrison in Rogue One. If Lux survives to the end of Return of the Jedi, we can see him in The Last Jedi and Episode 9, feasibly. Really liked him. We meet him when he's 16, and he was within the Separatist Alliance, but he's in the last episode we see him in, he rejoins the Republic. We see him in about 5 episodes. And he is very close with Ahsoka Tano. He's actually her love interest. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully we'll see him in Rebels or The Last Jedi in Episode 9. I don't know. That's up to Lucasfilm. Moving along, number 13 is Satine, Duchess Satine. She is exclusively a Clone Wars character. We will not be seeing her in Rebels, as she dies near the end of the Clone Wars series. She's the Duchess of Mandalore. She rules Mandalore. She's a pacifist Duchess. She doesn't really believe in fighting, but she will stand up for what she believes in. And she will defend herself if she has to. Very passionate leader. She always puts her people before her. Which I guess is one of the reasons I like her so much. She's also Obi-Wan's love interest in the Clone Wars, and I'm hoping in the upcoming Kenobi movie that I heard rumors they're doing, don't take my word that they're actually going to be doing this, but I've heard rumors on Twitter that they will be. I'm hoping that it will be a prequel movie, maybe focusing on the time that the year he spent on Mandalore with his master Qui-Gon, which will get into how he met Satine, and the start of their relationship. I'm hoping. Don't know. We'll have to wait and see when that movie comes out. Number 12 is Chewbacca. I love Chewbacca, like R2-D2. I've loved Chewbacca from A New Hope. I have a Norwegian Forest Maine Coon cat. His nickname is Chewbacca because he's big and furry. That's not his actual name. That's just one of his nicknames. But we call him that because he's big and furry like Chewbacca. His actual name is Harry. Chewie is just, I love how loyal he is to his friends. I love how protective he is of his friends. He makes an appearance in Revenge of the Sith. So we know he was alive and grown up, or really close to being grown up, 19 years prior to his appearance in A New Hope. He makes an appearance in an episode of the Clone Wars called Wookiee Hunt, and I'm really hoping to see him in this upcoming season of Rebels, if at all possible. Hoping to see him in Han. But again, that's Lucasfilm's decision. I just like to see, at this time period where they are. So, that's just, kind of what I'm hoping for. Looking forward to seeing more of him in Last Jedi in Episode 9, if at all possible. Moving along, number 11 is Luke Skywalker. I liked Luke from, basically like R2-D2 and Chewie. I liked Luke from A New Hope onward. I really did. One of my other big things about that I didn't like about The Force Awakens was that we really don't see Luke all that much. We get a glimpse of him in Rey's vision, and then we see him at the end, but I would have liked to have seen more of him. I know he was supposed to be kind of, he's in mourning for his students and the fact that his nephew betrayed him and whatnot. But I would have liked to have seen a little more of him. We're probably going to see a lot more of him in The Last Jedi, possibly also Episode 9. But what also ticked me off is that he was this prominent character in the original trilogy, and he doesn't even have a line in The Last Jedi. I mean, they could have just, like, when Rey was handing him the lightsaber, he could have just, rather than staring at her, he could have said, "Who are you?" And then they could have ended it right there. But, that was Lucasfilm's decision. But one of the things I liked about him was that when he learned who his father was, he didn't let it get him down. He was in denial for a while, and then once he truly accepted it, he was like, he didn't let it get to him, and he, like his mother Padme before him, still believed there was good in him. He still believed there was good in Vader, and he was able to bring it out and turn his father back to the light side, which was one of the things I really liked about him. Okay, number 10 is Princess Leia. I first saw Star Wars when I was about 8 years old. And up until that point, all the princesses I've ever seen were like Sleeping Beauty and Snow White and whatnot. Girls that needed to be protected and whatnot. And Leia is the exact opposite of that. She is a princess. She did need to be rescued, but when she was rescued and the rescue attempt was bumbled, rather than letting Luke and Han trying to figure out what the heck their next move was going to be, she jumps in and makes that decision and whatnot. So that's one of the things I did like about her, and hoping we see her in The Last Jedi. We probably will not see her in episode 9 as Carrie Fisher passed away last year, but you never know. So we'll see. We'll see where those episodes go with that. Number 9 is Han Solo. I liked Han from like Leia and Luke and Chewie and R2. I've liked him since A New Hope. He's this great character that eventually develops into the hero. It's a slow process. And one of the things I liked about him is that at the end of A New Hope, he had the money to pay off Jabba, and he was leaving to pay off Jabba, but he comes back to help his friends defeat the Death Star, or destroy the Death Star. And in The Empire Strikes Back, he could have very easily have left. Once he left, he just very easily could have taken Leia with him, and Leia and C-3PO with him and Chewie to Tatooine to pay off Jabba, and he doesn't. So, I mean, he even stays behind when they're evacuating the base to make sure that Leia gets out okay. So, yeah, that's one of the things. So that's why I like him. Little sad we won't be seeing him in The Last Jedi or Episode 9, but I think that was Harrison Ford's choice. He just decided he didn't want to continue making movies, so they just wrote Han off, which is okay. I wouldn't have done it, but, you know, that's me. Moving along, number 8 is Cody. I really liked Cody. He made my top 10 favorite clone list. And his one black mark I can only say is the what ranks him as 8 in the list, and where he is in the top 10 clone list, I don't want to say in case you haven't seen that video, is that he didn't participate in Order 66. So that's like his one black mark. Other than that, I really liked him. He was a very strong character. He was very much like Obi-Wan, and I think that's because he spent a lot of time with Obi-Wan, so a lot of Obi-Wan's personality rubbed off on him. And when he was just a really interesting character, and the voice actor, D. Baker, I think he did a wonderful job giving each clone an individual personality, which probably was not all that easy. Number 7 is Rex, Captain Rex. Really liked Captain Rex in the Clone Wars, and I loved it when they brought him back. I'm hoping they bring Cody back in this upcoming season of Rebels, because I'd love to see an interaction between him and Rex in Rebels, but it's hard to say. Do not think we will be seeing them in The Last Jedi or Episode 9, as they age twice as fast as the normal humans, and they probably, if they weren't killed, passed away by that point in the franchise. But Rex, very much like a lot of things I liked about Rex, I liked about Cody. I liked how Rex had a personality that was like a combination of Anakin and Ahsoka, because he spent a lot of time with them. He ranks higher than Cody only because he did not participate in Order 66. If Cody hadn't, they probably would have been tied for the position that Rex is in the top 10, in my top 10 favorite Clone Wars or clone list. But because Cody did participate in Order 66 and try to kill Obi-Wan, and Rex didn't, that just elevated Rex a little bit. So that's the only reason why he's ahead of Cody. Number 6 is Obi-Wan Kenobi. I really, really liked Obi-Wan Kenobi from the time we first see him in A New Hope. He was my number 1 favorite character until the Clone Wars TV show came around, and then he got knocked down to number 2, and then when Rebels came around, he got knocked down to number 6. And he's probably going to stay there for a while, unless, you know, Finn, Rey, Poe, or Baby really do something to elevate them really high up on the list. He's probably going to stay there. He also ranks pretty high in my top 10 Jedi list as well. So looking forward to, like I said, I've heard rumors that they're going to do an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. Really looking forward to that if it's true. Moving on, 5 and 4 kind of rotate a little bit, depending on who they're focusing on and my mood and who we're really focusing on, so who I'm really attached to. I mean, that's Ezra Bridger and Sabine Wren, and like I said, they rotate a lot. Sometimes Ezra will be number 4 and Sabine will be number 5. Sometimes Sabine will be number 5 and Ezra will be number 4. So they rotate a lot. What I like about Ezra is that we see him mature a lot through Clone Wars, Rebels. We do with Sabine as well. But we see Ezra go from this kid who's only caring about himself to this young man who is really putting the rest of the Ghost crew first and whatnot. And we really see him grow with the Force. So I really like that. And Sabine, same thing, like we see her mature a lot in Rebels. Not as much as Ezra, because she's 16 when we first meet her. But we see her grow so much, particularly in season 2 and 3. And she takes, in season 3, she really, really steps up with her Mandalorian roots, and we learn a lot more about her than we did. There are theories that she's actually the daughter of Satine and Obi-Wan, and I think she is. I don't think that the family-wise dynamics of in Legacy of Mandalore is true, and here's why I'm saying this. I think because of the fact that she has the Darksaber, yes, that will unite, that will rally Death Watch to her, but it won't really make the rest of Mandalore really follow her. But if she had the Darksaber and she was the daughter of Satine, that would, because she would have the legitimacy to lead Mandalore, which the people who followed Satine would latch onto, and then she would have the Darksaber, which was pre-Vizsla's symbol of power, that the people who followed him would signify as, okay, we can follow her. So that's why I'm in that camp of, I think she's Satine and Obi-Wan's daughter, but I don't know. That's just me. I'm hoping more will be fleshed out in the coming season about her past a little more. Also something Fenn says in Imperial Super Commandos, how she was safe as long as the Super Commandos didn't know that she was there. Leads me to believe there's something more to her past than what they're telling us. But, that's just me. Hopefully more will be revealed later. 3 and 4 are a lot like Ezra and Sabine, and it's that they rotate a lot, depending on my mood and who they're focusing on in the episode, and ergo who I can get more emotionally attached to. And that's Kanan Jarrus and Hera Syndulla. Sometimes Kanan is my 3rd favorite character and Hera is my 2nd. Sometimes Hera is my 3rd and Kanan is my 2nd. They rotate a lot. And what I like about them is that Kanan's backstory, is really good. I really like the backstory that they give us on him, and how he doesn't, for a while, about maybe 5 or 6 years, he did dwell on what happened, but he pulls himself out of it and he doesn't let it get to him anymore. I mean, he has like these flashbacks and a little bit of depression when something from the Clone Wars comes back, like Rex and whatnot. But he pulls himself out of it relatively quickly. And when he lost his sight in Twilight of the Apprentice, he doesn't let it get him down. He doesn't let it stop him, and he accepts it. Again, it just whatnot. And Hera's the same way. It's like she doesn't let what happened to her in the past dictate where she's going in the future. And I really hope they survive to the end of the season of Rebels. Hopefully still alive in by Return of the Jedi, and maybe we'll see him in the Last Jedi in episode 9. Same thing with Ezra and Sabine. But that's Lucasfilm's decision, not mine. And before we get to number 1, I want to do some honorable mentions. I'll make it short and sweet. Honorable mentions: Rey, Poe, BB, C-3PO, and Jar Jar. Now, moving right along, my number 1 favorite Star Wars character is Ahsoka Tano. I just really like her. We see her a lot in Clone Wars. We don't see her that much in Rebels. We see her in Season 2, end of Season 1, like very end of Season 1 we see her. Then we see her a little bit in Season 2. We don't really see her in Season 3, and I'm hoping they bring her back in Season 4, or at least let us know what happened to her after, at the end of Season 2. Really like her. I post a lot, I just really like her. She's just one of my favorite characters. Again, like Ezra, she's a character we see mature through the show, a lot. We first meet her when she's 14. She leaves Clone Wars when she's 16. And then she comes back to Rebels when she's 30-ish. I believe 30. And then, like, we last see her in the franchise when she's still 30, maybe 31. Don't know, but she's just this character I really, really love. And it's like, I just love everything about her. And it's like, recently, my sister and her boyfriend were shopping, and they found, they found this. It's just this little, it's a game thing for, that thing where you put the character in and whatnot. But they knew I liked her, so they got it for me, which I thought was really sweet, and how they remembered, oh, this is someone she likes. But my sister's on my Facebook page a lot, and they post a lot of, photos of Ahsoka. So she's actually my, icon in my desktop thing for Facebook. It wasn't much of a stretch for my sister to figure out that I really liked her. But again, she's just one of the characters that I just love, and I really hoping she survived what happened in Twilight of the Apprentice, and I hope she comes back in Rebels, the next season of Rebels. I hope she survives till the end of Clone Wars, or not Clone Wars, Return of the Jedi, and if she does, that we see her in The Last Jedi, and possibly Episode 9. A lot of you are thinking, oh, well, she can't have survived, and Ezra can't have survived, and Kanan can't have survived, because Yoda says in Return of the Jedi, when gone am I, the last of the Jedi you'll be. Well, who's to say that they did survive, and Yoda knew going up against Vader was going to be really difficult, and he withheld that information from Luke, just in case something happened to him, and so he wouldn't reveal that information to Vader and the Emperor, in case he was turned to the dark side. And then after the end credits of Return of the Jedi, he and Yoda and Obi-Wan tell him, oh, by the way, there are 3 other Jedi out there. Their names are Ezra Bridger, Kanan Jarrus, and Ahsoka Tano. 2 are human and 1's a Taruga, and you have to go and find them, and they'll help you restart the Order. Who's to say that didn't happen? Again, though, that is Lucasfilm's decision on whether or not to bring her back in. I'm seriously hoping they do, but we're unsure. So that wraps up this list. please like and subscribe. That helps me out a lot. Feel free to leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know who your favorite characters are. Also, I had a lot of fun doing this video and the other ones, so if you have any suggestions for some other top favorite videos, feel free to leave them. If you want to know more about the individual characters or their species, I highly recommend checking out SciFi Soup and the Cancrizans, I believe is how you say that one. One does really good in-depth looks at the different species of Star Wars, Tarugas, Twi'lexes, Wookiees, Nautilus, and whatnot. And the other one does in-depth looks at the different characters. So yeah, feel free to look this up. I'll put the names of the channels in the description. Also feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. That information will be in the description section. And check out my movie talk, TV talk, and book talk videos. And I will see you with those videos, and maybe with another top 10 video at some point. Until then, may the Force be with you.